Remember that scene where Joe Pesci threatens to bite off Kevin's fingers one by one? Well, he actually did it. During rehearsals, Joe Pesci got so deep into character that he bit 8-year-old Macaulay Culkin's finger hard enough to break the skin.
Hiya, pal. We outsmarted you this time. Get over here.
But here's what's even crazier. Pesci refused to break character between takes and deliberately avoided Culkin off camera to keep the child genuinely scared throughout production. This wasn't just method acting gone wrong. It was one of many examples of how Home Alone's behind-the-scenes reality was far more chaotic and susceptible than the slapstick comedy we see on screen. From real tarantulas to actual electrocutions, the production that almost got shut down halfway through filming became the highest-grossing live-action comedy for 25 years. So, let's count down the craziest facts about our beloved Christmas movie Home Alone.
I made my family disappear.
Number 16. The script was written in just 9 days during a panic attack. John Hughes didn't carefully craft Home Alone over months of rewrites. He literally erupted with the entire story in 9 days of furious writing after returning from a family vacation to Europe, according to his son James Hughes. His dad was consumed by parental anxiety during the trip. What if one of the kids got left behind? Kept running through his mind. On August 8, 1989, Hughes jotted down the initial idea in a notebook, and when they got home, he locked himself away and emerged with a complete script. The final push was an 8-hour, 44-page marathon sprint to the ending. What audiences saw as childhood empowerment was actually born from a father's deepest nightmare about abandoning his kids. Number 15. Joe Pesci accidentally bit Macaulay Culkin and left a permanent scar. Joe Pesci took method acting way too far on set. He wanted to keep the menacing vibe throughout production, which meant staying in character even during breaks. During rehearsals for the scene where Harry threatens to bite off Kevin's fingers, Pesci actually bit Culkin and broke the skin. In the first Home Alone, they hung me up on a coat hook, and Pesci said, "I'm going to bite all your fingers off one at a time," Culkin recalled years later. And during one of the rehearsals, he bit me and it broke the skin. The young actor still has the scar to this day.
Pesci's refusal to break character between takes created an atmosphere of real tension that you can actually see in Kevin's nervous reactions on screen.
Number 14. Daniel Stern had a real tarantula on his face. That massive tarantula crawling on Marv's face? Completely real. Daniel Stern initially begged the crew to remove the spider's stinger, but was told it would die. "Yeah, but if you don't take it out, I'll die," he told The Hollywood Reporter. The spider was a Chilean rosehair tarantula, and Stern had to overcome genuine arachnophobia for the shot. Here's the really crazy part. They told him tarantulas don't have ears, so he could scream as loud as he wanted. But after the first take, they realized the vibrations might scare the spider into biting, so Stern had to mime the entire scream silently and have it dubbed in later. That blood-curdling yell came from, as Stern put it, a place in my soul that I've never before touched and never hoped to again. Number 13. Warner Brothers literally abandoned the film mid-production. Filming began on February 14, 1990, with Warner Brothers financing the project. But halfway through the 83-day shoot, executives watched the mounting costs on the $18.3 million budget and completely pulled the plug. Cast and crew arrived one morning to find padlocks on the doors and security guards blocking entry. Director Chris Columbus recalled the panic. "We thought the movie was dead." For several days, the entire production sat in limbo while producers desperately called every studio in Hollywood. Fox finally swooped in to save the film, but only after everyone thought their Christmas movie was finished in February. Warner Brothers would later watch the film they abandoned earn $476 million worldwide.
Number 12. John Candy filmed his entire role in one brutal 23-hour marathon. John Candy's beloved Polka King wasn't supposed to be such a small role, but his hectic schedule meant he could only offer one single day on set. What followed was a 23-hour marathon shoot from dawn to dawn the next day. According to Columbus, every single line of Candy's dialogue was improvised. The entire polka band backstory, the emotional beats, everything was created on the spot by a comedian running on pure adrenaline and fumes. Candy even worked for scale, earning less than actors playing minor characters. He did it purely for the love of the story. The crew watched in amazement as he crafted his entire character arc in real time while exhausted. Number 11. The movie house became a real-life nightmare for its owners. The McAllister house at 671 Lincoln Avenue in Winnetka, Illinois, was a real family home, and the owners, John and Cynthia Abensheen, lived there during the entire 5.5-month shoot. Production designers gutted entire rooms, rebuilt staircases, and installed hidden cameras throughout. Under the contract, if they needed to knock down a wall when we weren't home, they could do it, Cynthia told Chicago Magazine. The family of 3 holed up in their 4-room master bedroom suite with a hot plate for cooking. When filming ended, the house needed nearly a year of restoration. The insurance claims were so complex they became case studies for entertainment law classes. Even today, the house gets constant tourist traffic, with fans recreating scenes on the front lawn. Number 10. The Micro Machines scene created a nationwide toy shortage. When production needed hundreds of Micro Machines for Marv to slip on, their bulk purchasing cleaned out toy stores across the entire Chicago area. The shortage spread as parents tried to buy the cars for kids who wanted to recreate movie scenes. Toy stores reported customers specifically requesting the cars from Home Alone, not understanding Micro Machines was an existing product. Galoob Toys couldn't increase production fast enough. Prices for existing sets tripled on secondary markets. The manufacturer later said that scene, which lasted seconds on screen, generated months of sales increases and permanently associated their brand with the franchise. Number 9. Chris Columbus got the job because Chevy Chase treated him like garbage. Here's a wild twist of fate. John Hughes originally wanted Columbus to direct National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, but when Columbus met Chevy Chase for a get-to-know-you dinner, Chase treated him, as Columbus told Chicago Magazine, like dirt. A second meeting went even worse. Columbus called Hughes and said, "There's no way I can do this movie. I know I need to work, but I can't do it with this guy." 2 weeks later, Hughes sent him the Home Alone script with a note asking if he wanted to direct. "John was my savior," Columbus recalled. "He was really supporting me when no one else in Hollywood was going to." That disastrous dinner with Chevy Chase led directly to Columbus directing one of the most successful comedies ever made. Number 8. The paint can stunt nearly killed the stunt doubles. Those paint cans swinging down weren't CGI. They were real, heavy cans on actual pendulums. Stunt doubles had to time their movements perfectly to avoid genuine concussions. Columbus admitted to Chicago Magazine, "Literally 3 or 4 times while shooting Home Alone and Home Alone 2, I thought those guys were dead. There was no CGI. It was kind of terrifying to watch. The stuntmen would get hit, collapse, and everyone would hold their breath until they got up. Only after they walked to the monitor to watch playback did anyone actually laugh." The insurance company initially refused to cover these stunts until coordinators proved they could execute them with relative safety. Number 7. The aftershave scream wasn't in the script. Macaulay Culkin's iconic aftershave scream, probably the most memed moment from the film, was completely improvised. The script just called for Kevin to apply aftershave and react. But on the first take, Culkin slapped his face and kept his hands glued there, frozen like the Edvard Munch painting The Scream, while letting out that perfect yell. Columbus told Entertainment Weekly, "That's why he was such an interesting kid. No one else would have done that." The scream was so perfectly calibrated that it became a Hollywood sound effect template. Audio engineers studied its pitch and timing, and for years afterward, other productions would reference the Home Alone scream when directing young actors. Number 6. Old Man Marley almost didn't exist. One of the most emotionally powerful characters in the film wasn't even in John Hughes' original script. Old Man Marley was added during rewrites when the production team realized the story needed emotional weight beyond physical comedy. Columbus was walking through the Winnetka neighborhood during location scouting when he encountered an elderly man who had become the subject of local children's spooky stories. Friendly in reality, but his solitary nature made him seem scary. Columbus realized Kevin needed a real human connection beyond his family. The church scene, where Kevin and Marley discuss family estrangement, completely improvised based on real conversations between actor Roberts Blossom and Columbus about forgiveness and loneliness. Number 5. The Wet Bandits van became a Chicago legend. After filming Wrapped, the Wet Bandits plumbing van was sold to an actual plumbing company in Chicago. For over a decade, Unsuspecting customers would call for service and be shocked when the Home Alone villain mobile pulled up to their houses. The new owners initially tried to remove the movie decorations, but discovered customers loved the connection. They built an entire marketing campaign around being the Home Alone plumbers. Families would specifically request the famous van for repairs, turning routine house calls into nostalgic events. It remained in service for over a decade, making it one of the longest-working movie props in cinema history. Number 4. Catherine O'Hara delivered her most emotional scenes to a tennis ball. Due to strict child labor laws limiting Macaulay Culkin's working hours, Catherine O'Hara often had to film her close-ups alone, sometimes as late as 1 a.m. They would have a tennis ball on a stand, the height of the kid's head, and the script supervisor would read the children's lines, she recalled. Her genuine emotional breakdowns as a mother who lost her child were delivered to sporting equipment. The fact that her performance still feels so authentic and heart-wrenching when she's literally acting opposite a tennis ball shows just how talented O'Hara really is. Number 3. The original script was R-rated. John Hughes's first draft of Home Alone was genuinely disturbing. It contained graphic violence, realistic consequences for the burglar's injuries, and psychological trauma that would have earned an R rating. The original Wet Bandits weren't bumbling comics. They were genuinely threatening criminals who posed real danger. Kevin's traps caused permanent disabilities and disfigurement. The script explored the genuine psychological damage that isolation and violence would inflict on an 8-year-old. Columbus and Hughes spent months transforming it from a dark psychological thriller into family-friendly comedy. The deleted scenes, if they still exist, remain locked in studio vaults for good reason. Number 2. The film created real injuries that required medical attention. According to Dr. Ryan St. Clair, who analyzed the injuries in 2012, Harry and Marv should have died multiple times over. But here's what's crazier. The production caused real injuries too. Several crew members actually fell on the micro machines during setup. The blowtorch scene required a full fire safety team because they used real fire. Joe Pesci got burned for real during the blowtorch scene and needed medical treatment. Daniel Stern was genuinely electrocuted during the sink scene, though at a much lower voltage than depicted. The nail trap once malfunctioned and actually penetrated a crew member's shoe. Columbus wasn't joking when he said he thought people were going to die on set. Number 1. Macaulay Culkin can't watch Home Alone. Here's the most heartbreaking fact. The star of the most beloved Christmas movie ever made can barely stand to watch it. When I'm watching it, I'm remembering that day on set, Culkin told Ellen DeGeneres. Like how I was hiding my Pepsi behind the couch. I can't watch it the same way other people can. He calls it background radiation at Christmas time. People constantly want to watch it with him, which he finds both flattering and creepy. His son now believes he's Kevin McAllister and that he fought the burglars himself. When Culkin tries to explain it was him in the movie, his son insists he remembers doing it. "You're a lying liar who lies," Culkin jokes to his son. The movie that brought joy to millions represents complicated memories for its star, fame that came too fast, family struggles over money, and the loss of a normal childhood.
The film that almost died in February 1990 because a studio thought it was too expensive became the highest-grossing live-action comedy for 25 years. Behind every perfectly timed gag was genuine danger, real injuries, and pure chaos that somehow transformed into Christmas magic. What shocked you the most? That Warner Brothers literally padlocked the production? Or that Macaulay Culkin still can't enjoy the movie that made him a star? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more insane behind-the-scenes stories from your favorite movies, hit that subscribe button. On our next video, we're diving into more amazing movies like this one, so stay tuned for that.